welcome to Knit Mania. This is episode 2, and if you watched the first episode, thank you so much. And sorry for it being as rough as it was. It was episode 1. What can I say? Hopefully this episode, the audio will be better. I worked on the lighting a little bit. I put on makeup and brushed my hair, which I evidently forgot to do last time. I switched the where I'm videoing, really just the angle of where I'm videoing. So, and even decorated a little bit. So that's the last book I read. That's Boris the Bear. It's a gun that my husband gave me. The candle is my mom makes. I am super spoiled. And that's my very favorite scent, which is frankincense and myrrh, which is really one of her holiday scents for Christmas. But I love it so much that she makes me some all year round. Yeah, I am spoiled. But at least I know it and I appreciate it. So thanks, Mom, if you're watching. And so I think I'm just going to go right into knitting because I have a lot to share. And then probably at the end, I'll talk a little bit about my week. So if you just want to watch the knitting, then you can cut it off then. I don't have to bore you. So I really thought that I was going to have 2 finished objects this week. That was my goal, and I thought it was a super attainable goal. And I didn't make it. I did finish one, and it's the super tiny one, but it's so cute. Look at that. So it's a Hexie Puff, of course. You'll see one every episode, or at least that's the goal. This actually might be my favorite yarn, or at least really close. And I think it would be gorgeous as a hat or as even a sweater. Like the sweater, it would just go with everything, I feel like. It is from the Old Soul Fiber Company, and I got one of these little tiny skeins, 10-gram skeins from my Row 1 subscription. And this colorway is called Soul Twist. I checked today because I was going to be bad and just buy at least a skein, but she doesn't have it in stock right now. But it will be forever in my blanket. So I don't think I mentioned last time what the Hexie Puffs were actually for. They will eventually make a quilt. I'm planning on making 365. And honestly, that's not even a very big quilt, but I just like the number, like the numbers of the day. And I am planning on using, like doing no more than 2 of one colorway. So it's obviously going to take a while. The pattern is called the Beekeeper's Quilt, I believe, and it's by Tiny Owl Knits, and it's on Ravelry. And I am using 3.50 signature DPNs. This is the first project I've ever done with DPNs, and I don't love them. I couldn't figure out a way. I think I could, if I tried hard enough, figure out a way to do these on Magic Loop. I tried once and got frustrated because I'd already tried a bunch of times on the DPNs and kind of had finally figured out how to do it on them. And so I just went back to those. But at some point I might go back to the Magic Loop and see. Oh, that was one thing, is the Magic Loop I did definitely wasn't long enough, so it was really finicky to do. So that's my only finished object, guys. I will tell you why later on in the episode. I got really engrossed in my newest project that I cast on this week, and so then I neglected my poor socks that I thought I was going to finish. And I also thought I was farther along than I was when I finally pulled them out. And so these are shorty socks, and they're a pattern by Denise DeSantis. She's known as Earth Tones Girl on Instagram and YouTube. And she has an awesome video tutorial called No Fear Knitting. And then this pattern is on Ravelry. I think it was like $5. And so it's super, super, like it moves really slow, and she's really meticulous, and she has lots of great tips for like not having holes like in areas that can be really prone to having holes. So it's a really easy pattern. It's a 2x2 cuff for 15 rows, and then it's 15 rows of the leg, and then you go right into the heel flap, which is a slip stitch heel flap, the heel turn, the gusset, which I've always hated the gusset, but she really has helped me not only feel more comfortable about the gusset, but also made my gusset look way, way better. And then I have 18 more rows of the foot, and then I will do the toe, and I will be done. So these, I'm telling you right now, these will be done by next week. And I absolutely adore this yarn. The flecks in it are just gorgeous. And so this is Madelinetosh, and the colorway is Video Baby. And I'm gonna have, because I did shorties, I'm gonna have a decent amount left over. So I'm doing a scrappy swap with somebody in June, and so I'll probably do that. Although I love it so much, I'm gonna have a hard time sending it away to England. And it's in this project bag, which is by Chestnut Fibers. It's definitely my favorite project bag right now. Cute little cat, zipper tag, inside pocket, cute lining. Yeah, I always have one project in this project bag right now. Okay, so with the No Fear Knitting, she does it, she teaches two different ways. So she teaches the 2 circular needle method and the magic loop. And so I started doing that because I wanted to learn and try the 2 circular method. And I started that, but then as the class progressed, she said that she really recommended that we watch the both videos, the circular and the magic loop. So her videos are pretty long. They're interesting. She's just wonderful. She gets so excited. She's like vibrating and giggling. I love her. But I decided that if I was going to be listening to an extra like hour of instruction off and on, that I might as well cast on another pair of socks, right? So I am doing this pair on magic loop, which is what my preferred method has always been. But I have to say, I really like the circular. I think that that might be my new favorite, but I'm kind of committed to trying them all. I bought a 9-inch circular, and so I'm gonna try that method probably next. And I also bought some Addy Flexi tips. So I don't know which one I'm gonna do next, but I'm gonna do a new method. And I'm loving socks because I've done mostly vanilla. I've only done one pattern pair, but there's so much that you can do with them. And there's so many different, you know, it's like a recipe, and there's like 5 different components. And so you can do a different heel, you can do a different toe, your ribbing can be whatever you want. And so the possibilities are infinite. And then of course there's the gorgeous yarn, and you just need one skein for socks. So this is unique, and it comes in 2 50-gram balls, so you could do 2 at a time if you wanted. I would have to say that this is, it's fingering And I bought this a long time ago. I don't know the colorway, but it does feel different than any yarn that I've ever used. And it's a little harder to work with, but it's gonna be really pretty, so. And this little bag I got in like a set, and I don't remember because there's no tag or anything. It's cute though. I got it around Valentine's Day, as you can guess. Okay, so here's like the big project and why I didn't finish my socks. So not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before was local yarn store day. And so of course I went to my local yarn store, Hands On Knitting, and they were having a sale on kits. So I bought 2. And so I'm gonna show you both of those. So the first one is the longest name I've ever seen. It is the Twisted Basket Bordered Classic Pocketed Cardigan. Try to say that 5 times. And it's a pattern that is designed by Trendsetter Yarns. And our local yarn store had gotten in a bunch of summer weight, summer material yarns. So I live in Southern California, and so it is not unusual for it to get in the hundreds, which a lot of people are like, why do you knit? But I knit because I love to knit. But it is important for us to have lighter fabrics to wear for a large part of the year. So this is something that's fun. It's 50% bio cotton and 50% soy. So bio cotton means that the cotton is grown organically, but they can't say organic cotton because the dyes are not organic. So, and then the 50% soy, I thought this was really interesting. It's made from the byproducts of tofu. So it also worked really well for, this month having Earth Day. This is a really eco-conscious yarn, relatively at least, and a lot more than most. And so, and because it's 50% cotton, much lighter. And so let's see, do I have a picture of the cardigan? I certainly should. Let's see if I can get that out. Sorry for the rustling. Okay, yeah. This is what the cardigan looks like. Isn't it cute? And so I actually thought that this was so cute that I was gonna do it in that colorway, and they didn't have enough yarn for me to do that. And I am not a patient woman. Anybody that knows me will say that that is true. So I decided to go with this colorway, which I think is also very pretty. So that was my swatch. And I haven't worked with cotton before other than like really small projects. I've never tried to make a sweater. So this is something that Molly at Hands On Knitting had recommended to me, and I love it. And so I don't know if you can see this really well. Yeah, you can see the pearls here. So what she recommends is you do a swatch and you do several different sizes. And so when you're in the section that I'm doing, like this is size 7 needle. And so you do 7 bumps. And so I did 3 different sizes, and it turns out they were all too big. So I started this on a 6 and knit probably a couple inches, and then took it in, and she said, you're not going to be happy with this. It's going to grow too much. So even though I had done this, washed it, hung it to get my gauge, she felt like even the 6 that I was on was going to eventually grow too long. So I ripped it out. Yes, I did. And I switched to a 5. And so this is the easiest knitting I've done in a while. You cast on, and then you do 16 inches in reverse stockinette. So I don't know, do I have a, I think I'm at about 5 inches right now. So again, I would have been farther, but I had to rip out a couple inches. But I'm happy with it. I'm loving just doing reverse stockinette. This is so soft, which is a really important thing in my life, has been ever since I was a little girl. If it doesn't feel good, I'm just not gonna wear it. So this feels great, and I think it's gonna be perfect for the summer when you're wearing like a tank top and then you go in somewhere and it's absolutely frigid and you need something to put on. So layering is definitely a thing here in Southern California. The bag that I have, I absolutely love, except for one little thing, and I'm so happy because I contacted her and she is going to fix it for me. So this is by Joanne Stitches. I love this pattern so much, and look at how nice and big it is. And then on the inside, it's a really pretty pattern, and it has some pockets in it. I really don't use the pockets. Like if they're zippered, I use them, but if they're not zippered, I don't. But, oh, and look at this lovely handle, and you can take it off if you wanted. So lots of nice, really nice features. I don't like this, and I thought it was a mistake. And when I was corresponding with her, she said that, you know, some of her bags, she finishes that way so that they can open way wider for really big projects. But this zipper isn't quite wide enough to do that. So I tried to get over it, and I just couldn't. And so I'm sending this back, and she's sending me one that's finished, which is just my preference. So I thought that was really awesome that she was willing to work with me like that. I just love the knit community and how everybody likes to support everybody, and really, yeah. So, oh, and then, oh, sorry for the wrestling. The other thing that I got actually was drop shipped, so I just got it a couple of days ago. And it is called David. This is a Barocco design. So that's the back. Does it have a picture of the front? And there's the front. So the front's really simple. The back is kind of fun. Definitely not something that I normally wear, but it just really caught my eye. And I'm a tiny bit bummed. I had ordered it in a, actually I think it was like this color. So it was kind of like a white, gray fleck. But they were out of that, and they weren't going to restock it. So I ended up getting, it's Barocco, it's quinoa, and I ended up getting it in the mushroom. And I like it. I just realized that I have a Dando kit that's almost the exact same color. But for something like this, I really like neutrals, so I'm gonna be happy with it. I'm not gonna start it right now. I've got too many things on my needles. I have a shawl that I haven't shown you, that I'm not showing today. I'll show it next week because I didn't touch it this week. So, but it's a make-along shawl, and it is a year-long make-along shawl. So you get a clue every month, and I'm super behind. I've completed January and February, and I've just started with March. And yeah, we're almost done with April. I know that. So, but it's beautiful. It's by Sharon Mooney, who is a local designer. She does just gorgeous design work. And so I will show that to you next week or soon. And then the last thing I got in the mail, I just got this yesterday. And this is a new project bag. Isn't it cute? And then the inside is orange. It's weird. I'm finding that I my palette is changing a little, my color palette of what I like. So this would not be a normal, you know, browns and oranges. And this is by your Bags by Awesome Granny, and it says respect your knitting. So I like that. I think that's cute. I like the ring, so you can put stitch markers on there. Yeah, so that was really nice. So, okay, I think that's all of the projects, and just kind of a little update on my week. My kitten is 3 weeks old now. His name is Loki, and if you go over to my Instagram, which is Knitmania Mom, you can see awfully cute pictures of him. And let's see, yesterday, I love to cook. You can probably see behind me my bookcase, and it's pretty much only cookbooks. So I collect cookbooks, but I also love to cook. Yesterday I went down a project trail. I ended up making enchilada sauce, you know, from just, you know, like boiling guajillo chilies and our chili de árbol, and then, you know, pureeing it, straining it, and then I made enchiladas. I'll be honest, not worth the work for me, but it was the first time I'd made the sauce from scratch instead of getting it out of a can. It wasn't hard, just a little time consuming. I will definitely do that again, but I did, well, yeah, hold on. Hi, I'm back. Okay, I wanted to show this cookbook because this is what led me down the trail. And believe me, I'm not done. I'm just at the beginning of my journey. So it's the Enchilada Queen cookbook, and I'd actually rented it from the library before. It's one of the things I love to do is check out cookbooks from the library, kind of read them from cover to cover, and then decide if it's something that I really want to have in my personal library. Well, I checked this one out before. I thought it looked great. Didn't make anything from it though, and didn't buy it. And so checked it back out. Tried one of her real basic recipes, but oh, there's so many good enchilada recipes in here, and I love enchiladas. So I'm definitely going to do a couple more, and I think I'm definitely going to buy this cookbook. Yeah, cookbooks and yarns are my two vices, I would say. My husband would agree, I think. So yeah, I cooked enchiladas yesterday. It's been a pretty quiet work week. I don't think I really touched on that last episode, but I work as a manager for a magician named Danny Ray. Best job ever, so much fun. I've worked there, it'll be a year in July. So it's always an adventure, it's always fun. Sometimes it's weird, things I have to pick up and stuff. But if you like magic, his name is Danny Ray, and you can find him, probably the easiest way to find him is dannyray.tv. He's on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, all the things. And he's starting to do live events again, so that's really exciting. He did 2 last week, and so it'll probably be picking up. But he was out of town in Virginia this past weekend, and so things always kind of quiet down when he's out of town. Got lots of knitting done. So that's that. As far as another one of the things that I love to do is read. So I read The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. That was fabulous. But the book that I really want to talk about is called 10,000 Doors of January, and it's by Alex Harrow. Sorry, I have to look over there to look at my notes. And it's one of those books that I can't get out of my head, and that doesn't happen very often. I read probably about 50 books a year. That's my goal, usually is 50. And so I'm kind of like, I read and then it's done and I've got the next one, you know, queued up. I usually have some books from the library. I usually have some books on my Kindle from the electronic library. And, you know, then I might have, oh, I have Book of the Month Club. So I've always got books. Like, I feel like there's a few things that I always have to feel good. I have to have some yarn, have to have a book, have to have a cup of coffee. So, the 10,000 Doors of January is really original. It does harken back to, you know, some of your maybe childhood stories of going through a portal and finding a different world. But this is darker, it's more complex, it's definitely adult. The two strongest characters are women, and they're interesting. And yeah, I really recommend it. So I will say that it didn't grab me from the instant I started, but it was one of those books that just builds and builds and builds. And then when you're at the end, you're like, no, I'm at the end. Is there a sequel? And there's not, but there's room for a sequel. So I have hope. And I will be watching and following Alex Harrow. So that was my favorite book that I finished. And let's see, on Netflix, I just finished The Serpent. Oh my goodness, so creepy. Like it would be creepy no matter what, but the fact that it's based on a real person is just hard to believe. A little surprised I watched it actually, because I, since the whole pandemic, lockdown, etc., I really shied away from dark things and gone way more towards comedies and rom-coms and fantasy. And even in my reading, I definitely did my share of dark reading stuff, and now I'm like pretty solidly in like fantasy. The Serpent was definitely dark, but it was just so interesting that I couldn't not watch it. So I don't know if I recommend that or not. I guess it depends on what mood you are and what you like, but I think it was interesting and well done. So there you go for that. So I think that is it for this week. You might be able to hear Blair, which is the mama cat. I don't know if I mentioned, but my husband is a sales manager at a car dealership, and she was abandoned by her mother up at on their rooftop. They have cars on their roof, and so as a baby she couldn't get down, and so then these hard-hearted salesmen like had pity on her and started feeding her, and you know, she's a wild kitten. Well, long story short, you know, they kept feeding her. She got more and more tame. Eventually, she figured out how to go downstairs, but still hung around there because, you know, she gets fed. And later, my husband starts talking about her, not in a good way. Like, oh, this stupid ghetto cat is, you know, staying out in front of the dealership, not good for customers, etc., etc. And I'm like, you keep disparaging this cat, but you sure are talking about it an awful lot. Yeah, long story short, we ended up getting her. So the next day I took her to the vet, and the vet said she's healthy, she has, you know, no fleas or anything, which I was really afraid of because we have 3 dogs, and she's pregnant. So they said she was about 10 months old and pregnant. And she is a wild thing. I don't know if it's just her hormones because she has a 3-week-old kitten, or if she's always going to be like this, but she will demand to be a pet, and then you'll start petting her, and then she'll whack the heck out of you. And if you don't pet her, then she'll whack you for not petting her. So you can't win. I think I counted today, I have like 5 scratches on my right hand from her. So, I don't know. She rules the upstairs. I stay downstairs all day now. I just put up with her at night. So, that's my week. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. And thank you again for watching. If you're still watching, I would love it if you liked and subscribed or even shared. Anything that you do is greatly appreciated. If you wanted to follow me on Instagram, I am there as Knit Mania Mom. And yeah, I think that's it. Have a great week. Bye, guys.